Hello, Potato, and welcome to Weekend Magic for September the 14th, 2024. This week, we are taking a break from the Happy Haunt Hunt because, frankly, I don't think I have anything else for the Happy Haunt Hunt. I said back when we did Madame Leota that might well be the peak of Happy Haunt Hunt, and the pins last week were the last things I had in reserve. And honestly, I really haven't seen anything else out there that I simply must have. So the Happy Haunt Hunt may be over. We started back in July, so that we've run out in mid-September, or I guess technically early September, shouldn't be too terribly surprising. But it is just now time to take down the Carnival display and get up the Halloween display, and I have no more Halloween stuff to look at, although I do still need to get that Nightmare Before Christmas Lego set to go into the Halloween display. So yeah, this week we are taking a break from the Haunted Mansion. We're taking a break from Disney in general, sort of. I mean, they did distribute these properties for quite a while, earlier in the century, but they're not currently. I believe it's G-Kids currently. Today we're going to look at something from a Studio Ghibli property that we picked up just last night at Box Lunch. We had some of that lunch money. If you don't know what Box Lunch is, it's basically Hot Topic for adults. Azure Hot Topic is much more youth-oriented. I mean, they have a lot of the same properties, but Azure Hot Topic is much more like t-shirts and piercings and the kind of more gothy stuff. Box Lunch is more for people who kind of grew out of Hot Topic. I still actually go to both because, Funko Pops and stuff. But who kind of grew out of Hot Topic but still want to have the Naruto or Bluey or Disney stuff in their life. And much like Hot Topic, they do boomerang coupons. As where Hot Topic has hot cash, Box Lunch does lunch money, where you get generally, I think it's like 15 off of 30, but these ones were 20 off of 40. But you have to come back like a month later during a week. I think the current ones end tomorrow from when this is being posted. And it's a pretty good time to pick up something if you saw something which is like a little more expensive than you were willing to spend on it, but you'd really like it. Hanging on that lunch money and coming back and spending it then to get that $20 off that item is a good way to get the things that you want, but you don't want to spend, like $50 on, which is what we have today. We saw this when we were in there buying the stuff that got us the lunch money, but it was $55, and that was a little more than I personally was willing to spend on it. But $20 off of that, okay, now I'm interested. So today we are going to look at, from Howl's Moving Castle, the Calcifer Candle Light. If you've never seen Howl's Moving Castle, I definitely recommend you check it out. I think Max is currently still hoarding all of the Studio Ghibli movies, at least all the classic ones. And I think it's available currently on disc from G-Kids. It was Disney for. I think the version we have was the Disney release, but I don't think they redubbed it because they had like Blythe Danner and other reasonably famous actors, not so much voice actors, but screen actors, cast into it. I think the G-Kids has redubbed some of the animes from the Disney dubs, but I think they've kept some of like the higher end ones, I guess. Also, interestingly, Howl's Moving Castle, one of the first voice actors we saw at a SAC anime was Howl's Moving Castle's Crispin Glover, who does the voice of Turniphead at the end of the movie. Yeah, it's not one of the bigger roles, but it's also one of the few actual voice actors, I think, that are in the movie. And he was a nice guy, and it made the movie like even better to having met one of the actors. But in the English dub, I believe Calcifer is voiced by Billy Crystal, who does a pretty good job. I think you kind of see a little Mike Wazowski in there before Mike Wazowski, because Howl's is a fairly old movie at this point. If you've never seen it, I definitely encourage you to check it out on disc or on streaming, in whatever way you deem. But yeah, we saw they had a little Calcifer candle there. But yeah, $55 is a little much for a Calcifer candle mood light. But again, $20 off of that, that's a little bit more reasonable. It's more in the area of something I'm willing to pick up. So yeah, today we're going to check out Howl's Moving Castle's Calcifer Candle Light. Got our instructions, which do appear to be in all Japanese. So, there's some English there, so that's probably English in here. But I mean, it's going to have a battery. It's not. I feel like. Okay, wasn't expecting that. I feel like we can manage this without a set of instructions. So that's interesting. I wasn't expecting that. The candle and the holder are separate pieces. kind of like the Encanto candle we looked at quite a while ago. Got little bits of plastic and nothing else in there to keep everything from getting damaged. And here is our Calcifer Candle Mood Light. It's a mood light. You know, I like my light up things, so you can't see a ton of them just now because they're kind of close, but you know, I like my light up things here. So, oh, it's heavier than I would have thought, which is dumb because I had literally just picked it up a minute ago. Are there batteries in it already? It said it takes 2 AA's. It's very heavy if there's not. That's actually for like a mood light thing that's surprisingly heavy, but it looks good. Got a good sculpt of calcifer on it. And I do kind of like that the candle holder is a separate piece. It's just plastic. I mean, it might be, no, it's plastic. I think it might be resin, but no, I feel like it's just very thick plastic. But it feels good and chunky. It feels solid. It feels like good, they both feel very solid. I mean, this I kind of expect to. This, I'm very surprised how heavy this is. So I wonder if it'll do anything particularly interesting when we turn it on. 2004, Studio Ghibli. I'm assuming that's a reference to when the movie came out, not a reference to when this was made. That would be weird if this is like some sort of weird new old stock that's been sitting around for 20 years that Box Lunch just got their hands on. All right, so let's check it. Are there other batteries in it? No, I didn't think there would be. But I have batteries here. It says again, it takes 2 AA's. So I wonder why it's so heavy. But what I don't think I have at the moment is a screwdriver. I should have one here. I keep one here, but it's never here when I actually want to drive some screws. Which I suppose means technically I don't keep it here. I intend to keep it here, but I really take it somewhere else and then leave it there. But I have this handy. This will do, hopefully. So let's go Phillips head there, so this should work. And yep, there we go. Not quite. I always stop too soon on these sorts of things. Here we go. Pop in a couple of AA's. Looks like that's going to go that way, and that's going to go that way. And then it is turned off. Okay. I figure I don't want to ruin the surprise of turning it on before we've got everything ready. All right, it's got batteries in it. I suppose we should get the most effect out of this by turning off the lights before we turn it on for the first time. Okay, so now we're nice and dark in here, or darkish. I mean, I do have my other glowy thing still on. Let's turn on Calcifer and see what he does. Oh, there we go. I was gonna say bugger all, but no, there he goes. Okay, that's nice. It's got a nice flicker effect to it. It's got like a crackling noise, which I hope is intentional and not a defect in it. I don't know that I like that turning blue. I do like the red light though. That looks quite nice, but why is it making that noise? Huh. Oh, is it? You can, so is that intentional? Like you meant to be able to like blow it out kind of a thing? Or is this defective? Because when I shake it, it goes out. And then it seems to just not do anything at all now. Okay. Well. It seems that the crackling noise matches the light flicker. I mean, it's only GW about it. If there's something like actually like shorting in there, it's not going to cause too much damage off of, what was that, 3 volts of electricity? But I don't know if I can pick it up. Let me put some, let me see if the mic can pick it up. Can you hear that? Yeah, I don't know if that's intentional or not. Maybe if I read the instructions, I would know. But I find it weird that when you tilt it, it seems to go out. Like, it's almost like it's switching modes. Because now yeah, there it went on. I thought maybe it was like responding to sound, but it doesn't seem to do that either. Are there any buttons or... There don't appear to be any buttons or anything down here. All right, you know what? Let's put the lights on and we will actually take a look at the instructions real quick. All right, there with the lights on. Yes, it doesn't really do it justice when the lights are on, but it still looks nice. It's just like a little piece of like shelf art. I think it looks very nice. But let's take a peek-sees at the instructions and see if there's one. Oops, sorry, I didn't mean to hit you there. If there's anything in English in it, and two, if there's anything useful in that English. And Calcifer Light. Now it's like literally just warnings here. Misuse of battery may cause heat generation, explosion, or liquid leakage. If liquid is leaking from the battery, get on your skin or clothing, wash it with plenty of water. Oh, I thought I'd conserve water in that situation. If you don't use the product for a long time, remove the batteries. We all know that. Whether we all do that or not is a whole other thing. All right. How to use. Please turn the main switch of the base of the candle to on. Calcifer will light up after sway about 15 minutes. Sway again when calcifer lighting up, the light can turn off. Lighting up about 15 minutes, the light will turn off automatically. So that's kind of cool. You can turn it on and then just leave it on and put it on your shelf and it'll turn off on its own after 15 minutes rather than just when your battery's dead. So that's kind of cool. So I guess you just kind of shake it to blow it out. So there must also be like some sort of a switch in there that makes or breaks a connection. There is no attached batteries. Please prepare buy before use. Phillips screwdriver, when not in use, please turn the switch off frequently. I think turning it off once should be sufficient. So nothing about the clicking, but I'm thinking it has something to do with whatever the switch is. So it is supposed to turn off when you shake it. So that's intentional at least. And then you sway it again to turn it back on. So that's kind of neat. I appreciate that because that way you could turn it on and off without taking it out of the base if you didn't want to. Also, I don't know if I pointed out, but the base does say Howl's Moving Castle on it. But if you didn't want to show that, you can always flip it around and do it this way. Of course, this is the way you're meant to hold this, but it doesn't feel particularly loose or like it's going to break or anything, but I still wouldn't put a lot of stress there. Can you just... Oh, you know what it is? I think I can see it. It's one of the... Hold on, I think I have one. Let me go grab it. All right, I think what's making that clicking noise in there is because the inside, even though you can't really see it, but I think I can see it moving, is it's like one of these kind of candles. I think that's probably part of how it works on the swim. That also explains why it's so heavy, because there might be a little fan or something in there. I don't hear anything, but you can hear it when I rattle. Well, you probably can't because the microphone's not close enough, but you can hear something rattling around in there when I pick it up. I think what we have in there is one of these kind of fake flames from the old like Illuminara candles, where they wave around a bit so that from a distance they look more like a real flame because it gives it more of a realistic flicker on top of the light. And I think it's what we have in here. I think we have one of these kind of candle wicks or candle flames inside there just kind of bobbing back and forth. Because that would explain why the noise happens in conjunction with the light, with the flickering. And again, I think through Calcifer here, like when I look from like straight down, I think I can see it moving. So I think now it's not flickering the same way because I've put it in a position where it's just kind of tilted up and no longer bobbling around. But if I put it down, now it seems to just be in like blue flicker mode. Well, anyways, now it's not making the clicking noise, but I think that's what it is. I think there's one of these kind of flames inside there making it work that way. But yeah, I think it's a very nice little piece of wall art. Or not wall art, shelf art. And just look cool on your shelf. Just a little, I mean, you don't see a lot of Howl's Moving Castle merchandise short of like shirts and stuff. So, I mean, you occasionally see like the Kiki's Delivery Service mugs kind of things or carrier bags, but I think this is I think a fairly unique item, at least to me. I've not seen this before, and I do quite like it. It's very nice looking. I love the artwork on Calcifer. He's got a little goggly-eyed maybe, but I think that is actually in line with the way he looks in the movie. I do wish it was more just the red light than the blue light. There doesn't seem to be any way of just turning it to just be the more flame-colored. He does do blue. You know, he is flame, but I do like the red a little better. And I like the fact that it turns off after 15 minutes on its own. I like that you can just kind of do that to turn it off if you're going to like just turn it off for a while, if you turn it on regularly. And what I don't like is the price. $55 I do think is, I mean, it is quality. It doesn't feel cheap. It feels well done. It's nicely sculpted. It's just $55 for a mood light is a little bit more than I'm willing to do. But again, we got like $20 off on it. So $35 I feel is a good price point. Box lunch can be a little spendy for some of the stuff they sell, but a lot of it is, I think, pretty good quality. Well, that is quite enough talk about a fake candle. I'm quite happy with it. If you're a fan of Howl's Moving Castle, I do think it's one of the better objects I have seen out there for it. That isn't like a blanket or a sweater. And then we just need to figure out where to put it. Probably not in here, but maybe with the Encanto candle. I don't know. I've been kind of debating getting the Sanderson candle at Hallmark. It's made out of like ceramic though, and I'm not a huge fan of Hocus Pocus. I'm more of a fan of lights. Also, they have like a ornament version of the Sanderson candle that has a flame like this on it, but the big full-size one has like a bulb, which I would much rather like it if it had one of these. Because I do love the effect of these kind of fake candles. I think they look really good. I think they look pretty convincing from a distance. But what do you think? What do you think of Calcifer here? Is he worth $35? Is he worth $55? Would you pick him up? Have you picked him up? Oop, I think I blew him out. Do you think it's a good sculpt? I think it's a good sculpt. But let me know in the comments what you think about it below. And with that, we will wrap this video up. I hope you found it at all interesting or entertaining. If you did, give it a like, subscribe to the channel. I thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Until then, may your flame burn brightly.